Before I walk you through the programming today, I want to spend a few minutes on why it's built the way it is. We start with the why. Why are we here today? I don't have to spend too much time on it because President Washington did cover a lot of points, but I did want to recognize what we're all experiencing, something I call all together, all at once. We sit in a very unique region here in Northern Virginia, and we acutely feel the federal policy landscape still being written on AI. We experience an educational pipeline from the K-12 to the community college, from where a lot of our students come from, to the higher eds like George Mason University that are trying to figure out how to absorb and what to do in a way that serves the students and serves the region. And then within an hour of here, if you drive in this region, you cannot miss the growing infrastructure. So, safe to say, we see concrete examples of how things are moving, changing, evolving every day just driving around Northern Virginia. And Dr. Washington did mention this, so I don't have to belabor the point, but I did want to speak to the pace of change. That is something that we all feel. That's something that I feel every day as I teach my students. What could I have done more? What next? What next? What next? It's about the tempo, the speed with which things seem to be coming. We were not built for this speed, right? Especially public universities. We have curricular revisions, we have thoughtful processes, we have regulatory bodies. Things take time. It's a feature, not a bug. Things take time by design, so we can be thoughtful. But yet we find ourselves having to figure out how to be both thoughtful and responsive, and also hopefully clear the clutter for a lot of the noise that is out there. I hope that our researchers today will clear some of the clutter from you and give you a better sense of what this thing that they call AI can, and probably more importantly, cannot do. What we should, and maybe more importantly, what we should not do. Now, there were glimmers of things moving, not exactly when ChatGPT came out. It took a few years, but around 2024, more folks started talking about, will this change employment? Will this change the way we work? Should this change the way we educate students? And so this is what we saw in 2024. We saw aspirations, we saw statements, but we did not quite see the statistics. It was a little bit early. And yet what we understood here at Mason is that if things were coming, if the landscape was indeed changing, we should figure out a way to leverage it for our students. We are a very unique university. We are an R1 research university, which means that we carry out very intensive research. We are an access university, which means that all students are welcome through the doors. They have access to excellence. We serve a lot of underrepresented students. We serve a lot of transfer students. We serve a lot of first in their family to ever go to college students. So we are a very special place. And recognizing this, who we are, really leads how we're thinking about this moment. What is it that we should do? What is it that we should not do? So our answer in 2024 was to start building. We have to equip our students with understanding. So we built, we went to work. You will hear today later in our AI literacy panel from the various colleges represented what they have built: educational programs, masters, concentrations, certificates. You will see from our Chief Information Officer later today what more we have built, a platform so that folks can experiment and obtain a sense for themselves of what is it that these technologies are capable of. I call it learning by doing. We outlined the first responsible AI use guidelines, the first in the university for Virginia. We build communities of practice. If you see students around, many of them belong to the AI Student Club. They're partnering with us today to carry out a lot of the student activities. There are staff AI communities of practice, peer-to-peer learning networks. There are research communities bridging humanities and engineering so that we can open up new problem spaces at the intersection of humanities and AI research. But as Dr. Washington said, you could miss the forest for the trees. We built, but we built all of this under a bigger umbrella. We recast who we are, a public R1, as an innovation nexus. A hub connects, a nexus generates. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to be in the generative space. 4 pillars, 4 initiatives integrated. Integrate AI. This is thinking about transforming education, research, and operations. Inspire with AI speaks to our aspiration and our responsibility to advance higher education, teaching, learning. Innovate AI. This recognizes that we are leaders. We carry out really high-quality, state-of-the-art research here at the university. And the tech companies are not the only ones that are advancing AI. We also know what we're doing, and you'll see that later today. Impact with AI. This speaks to our responsibility as good neighbors to impact the communities, our region, and the nation with what we do, what we advance, how we teach, and who we teach these programs to. So what is today? I do want to recognize the faculty, the staff, and the students. It's been 2 years. You'll see examples of what we have built. You'll see vignettes. You'll see demos. You'll get a very clear sense for, not just strategy, but what I call show me what you got. So today is a celebration, in a sense. But it's also a recognition that it's not enough. We all feel that it's not enough. And so the reason for this room today is to exchange our perspectives, our knowledge and understanding on what next. What should we do? What should we do better? What does this moment require so that we can meet it together to build what I call what matters? And so we start with understanding. In our very first part of the programming, we'll focus on research. You'll hear from our first keynote speaker, someone that I admire a lot, the hard questions and the honest answers. And then it's a little bit hard to follow Tina, but we have assembled the best and the brightest here of Mason researchers to show you how they're advancing AI research. And some of them will have really cool demos. And then we switch to literacy and education. Our second keynote of the day, Pat Young-Pradit from Microsoft, will tell us about scaling, education, and workforce development. And that will be followed by the literacy panel that will give you a very good example of things built at Mason, educational programs built at Mason. As we head into lunch, I would really love you to make some time to interact with the students in the room. They're standing by their posters. They're very excited to show you what they have done. We decided that we would give a little bit of competition to our graduate students by bringing in very competitive Northern Virginia high school students. So please go, talk to them, vote. There will be prizes, not for you, for the students, just to be clear. And then the afternoon is built around interests. You choose the afternoon. You make your own programming. We will have parallel tracks. We will have a leadership track here, folks talking about deployment, concerns, opportunities, gaps, headed by our Chief Information Officer, Dr. Charmaine Madison. There are 3 faculty and staff events, and you can find the rooms in your program. I also have them here. The faculty are showing one another and teaching one another on how to advance instruction, what it is they have built, what are their experiences. The staff are doing the same, showcasing their AI workflows. The students have their own activity from 2 to 5 in the multipurpose room. And again, there's this sense of, here, let me show you what I have, and let's all learn together. So it's very rich programming around right after lunch. Then we come back here, converging into the same room to talk about higher ed in Virginia, Virginia's AI moment, policy in Virginia, and I'm very happy to have community college presidents, to have National Security Institute directors, to have chief information officers from the Fairfax County Public School, and to have policymakers. Delegate Cliff Hayes is with us here today as well. I'm very happy to have this panel. You will see what our builders have built, both our faculty and staff. In case you missed, you didn't quite go to, the right room. You stumbled in a different room, so don't worry. I will have 4 vignettes here for you, 10 minutes each. And then we will wrap up the day learning about Virginia's data center infrastructure from providers, from researchers, from NVIDIA. This is going to be a very interesting panel. And before I wrap up, I really wanted, rather than to acknowledge the folks at the end of the event, to do it a little bit differently this time. Because you may see here the speakers, you may see him here a lot today, trying to smile, like everything's going great, but there's a village in the background supporting this that made this happen. So I put all their names, university branding and event staff. If I have forgotten anyone, please forgive me. The College of Engineering and Computing Dean's Office, and I would not be able to put all the names of the students, but I just wanted to recognize the student clubs and the student volunteers. If anything goes great today, you have them to thank. If anything does not, don't tell me. I also wanted to recognize our partners. Microsoft is in force here today. We will have 25 Microsoft engineers that have come from the Reston headquarters. They are leading some of the sessions with the students. They are assisting some of the sessions with the staff. This year today would not be possible without our partnership with Microsoft, with CloudForce. I'm thankful to the AI and Government Council for sponsoring portions of this event, and the NACCP Fairfax County branch that is partnering with us on the AI literacy component of the program and on student prices. Very happy to have our sponsors here as well, Dynamo, VedTech, and Prime Partners.